Good morning. I am Colleen and I am out here to talk about these trees. Now, as you can tell by my big coat, it's winter, it's cold. And some of these trees are still alive through the winter. They'll keep growing when it gets warm again. And some of these trees are not still alive. So how can we tell the difference? Right next to me, I have a pine tree. You might recognize the pine tree. It's like a Christmas tree. We call them evergreen. Evergreen. What do you think that means? Why do we call trees like pine trees evergreens? Well, if we look at it, it's still green, even in the middle of winter. So the pine tree's leaves are these very, very skinny needles. And when they are green, we know the pine tree is still alive. If the needles turn a different color, that might tell us that the needles are not still alive. What color do you think the pine needles turn when they're not alive anymore? Let's explore this tree and see if we can find some pine needles showing signs that they're not alive and they look different. We're also going to look at a tree and try and figure out if it's alive or not. So what kind of things do we need to look for? What do living things need in order to stay alive and keep growing? So animals need to eat food. Plants get their energy from the sun, and they get to make their own food. So we need energy. We need something to give us that energy if we're going to stay alive. What else do living things need? Let's take a walk around the yard, see what we can find, and see even in the winter if we can tell whether it's alive or not. So let's see, here's these pine trees that I was right next to, and I told you if those needles are nice and green like that, that pine tree is alive. Now next to it, we have a different looking pine tree. Let's see, does it have green needles on it? Let's see if we can find some. Let's see, okay, so there's the nice healthy branch with all those bright green needles. Here's another branch from the tree right next door. Let's see, oh, that tree is a different color. The branches look very different. I don't see the needles on that branch, do you? Look at that trunk. It's hard to see between all the branches. But let's look at this trunk over here. Come over here. Look at that trunk. Whoop, we'll turn it back this way. Look at that beautiful trunk. Do you see what's on the trunk? What do we call that stuff? Starts with a B. Do you hear the dog in the background saying it? Bark, bark, bark. That's right. We call that bark. That bark helps protect the tree and keep it alive. That's another clue that that tree is healthy and alive. Now let's look at the bark over here. Let's see if we can find any clues. Climb into this forest. Whoa, look at that bark. Very different. You can see some of the bark on there, right? But there's big holes in it, and the tree, there's a spot with no bark. So that tree doesn't look very healthy or protected. That could be another clue. Again, look at this branch. No needles on it. Oh, no pine needles. Well, let's look over here. Do these look alive? What do we got? Oh, look, a pile, a big pile. It's still got leaves on it. See those leaves, but are they green? What color are they? Is that gonna be able to get energy? Oh no, what else do plants need? They need water. Is this tree gonna be able to get water when it's cut? Its branches are cut like that. I don't think these are alive anymore. All right, got some evergreens growing over here. All right, some leaves, some healthy leaves. Look at that, I'd say, what do you think, yes or no? Is that alive? Now, this one could be harder to tell. It's not an evergreen. It's got all those empty branches. So for this, we're gonna have to look up real close, real close, and see the twigs. Let's see. Now talk about buds. Look at these. Beautiful. This is a magnolia, and it has big fuzzy buds on it that are gonna pop open in the spring and make some beautiful flowers. So it looks like most of the branches on this magnolia are nice and healthy. They're so soft. All right, this tree could be a little bit tricky. So let's look for the clues. The bark is on the tree, so it looks protected. But then I look up here, and the leaves are brown. So I don't know if the leaves are alive or not, but I'm guessing no. So I have to look closer again at the twigs. So reach up here and take a look. And there are buds on the twig. So yes, this tree's still alive. Even though the leaves are brown, it's got big healthy buds for next spring. All right, I got one last one for you. You think this is still alive? No, this tree was cut down and turned into a bench. So this one's not alive anymore, but it is serving as a great bench. So what did we learn today? We learned we want to look for signs of life, and we want to check and see if they have what they need to be alive. Protection, energy, water, air, all of that. And different animals, different plants get their needs in different ways. So look for the clues. Look at the leaves, the bark, the twigs, the buds. Look at the stem. Is the stem still connected to its roots? All of those are clues that will help you know if the tree or the plant you're looking at is still alive, even in winter when it's not growing. So go outside and test your skills and see if you can find these clues and tell the difference between alive and not alive when things aren't growing. Just make sure you bundle up because it's still cold out there. Thanks so much and have a beautiful day.